Be answering a question that I'm sure you've all thought of before. Who is Darth Red? Where does this Sith come from? And, well, who is he? So, let's have a look at this. Darth Red was a character who was originally designed by me as a custom character on the complete saga. However, when I changed the channel to Meanable Breaks, I needed some more characters who will be our channel. We have the Imperial Commander and we had Senator Thea, but we needed a Sith. Darth Red just seemed like the most perfect choice, but we had to update him though to a more visual design. The skeleton mask would remain the same, but originally Imperial Royal torso would be used, but this was later replaced with the Iron Man torso to make it look more updated and more armorized, almost mimicking the armor worn by the Jedi during the Clone Wars. He would have a long hat to help hide, even though he was under a mask, due to a lot of the time he'd actually be spying on Darth Vader. After the Clone War would end, he would remain the Emperor's right-hand man, often spying on Vader, making sure he wasn't thinking of rebellion against his master. Darth Red was loyal to the Emperor and was actually in charge of the Royal Guard, often having them under his command on personal missions, usually dealing with Luke. During the events of Episode 4, Darth Red would not be affected by the Death Star. During the events of Episode 6, Darth Red would be stationed on the Death Star and would come in right after Luke has knocked Vader onto the floor. Seeing the Emperor's apprentice on the floor, he would jump to his defense immediately, fighting Luke up the stairs to the Emperor's throne. When they reached the throne, however, Darth Red would go to reach out with the Force, only for Luke to use it against him. He'd be smashed through the chair and smashed through the window. Fortunately for Red, though, this would not be his demise. A few years later, on Jakku, which is where he landed during our sequel trilogy, he would regain power throughout the First Order army, becoming a leading member in that until the death of Snoke. When Snoke died, Kylo Ren would come and hunt Ren down, and eventually defeat him. Darth Red, now being a lot older, would not really stand a chance against Kylo Ren, who was the new Supreme Leader. During a fight that he well held up, unfortunately though, Kylo and the First Order military, now under his command, would quickly wipe out Red, seeing him as a threat to his power. Darth Red still remains a very important character to our channel, but knowing the history of the character is a lot more important in my opinion. He has had many lightsaber fights and was one of the best in the Imperial Army. But he didn't really get on with other people because he was just in it for the Emperor, because the Emperor gave him power, and therefore they got along quite well. Even during the events of the Clone War, which is actually when he had the most power as a separatist leader, he still would only be there just to spy on Grievous and Count Dooku, making sure they're still following the Emperor's bidding. However though, during the Imperial reign, he would remain with lots of power, having his own Star Destroyer fleet. If you liked this video, please comment, like and subscribe for the next one, and I'll catch you in the next one.